Elen Silla Lumen Omen Tielvo. Today I give to you the legends of Angrod and Aegnor. Angrod would be born first, sometime during the years of the trees, with Aegnor being born sometime later to Finarfin and his wife Elenwe, being younger brothers to Finrod and older brothers to Galadriel. Angrod and Aegnor are the Sindarin version of the Quenya mother names Angarato and Icanaro, meaning champion and fell fire. Just like with everything Years of the Trees related, there are some changes Tolkien made, as in the Silmarillion it is said that Ordredreth was a son of Finarfin, making him brothers with Angrod and Aegnor. However, in the peoples of Middle-earth, it is said Ordredreth is the son of Angrod and his wife Eldalote. Whichever may be the truer account, we know this still took place before the Noldor left Valinor. In 1495, the Dark Lord Morgoth, with the aid of the spider demon Ungoliant, killed the two trees of Valinor, plunging Aman into darkness. They also killed Finwë and stole the Silmarils. Feanor, Angrod and Aegnor's uncle, thus called upon the Noldor to leave Valinor and seek realms and vengeance in Middle-earth, and he swore his terrible oath. While Angrod and Aegnor did not swear this oath, their hearts were kindled, much like their sister Galadriel and cousin Fingon, to rule their own great kingdoms away from the influence of the Valar. And so they departed Tirion to journey to Arda. None of the children of Finarfin would partake in the kinslaying at Elkalonde, for these elves were the kin of their mother, and they could not willingly slay them. Within Angrod in particular, an anger was placed in his heart at the deeds of Feanor and his followers, and he would be one to curse Feanor's name. Neither Angrod nor Aegnor would turn aside, however, and after the doom of Mandos was proclaimed and Feanor burned the Teleri ships at Loskar, Angrod and Aegnor journeyed with the rest of their kin through the treacherous Helcaraxe. The journey was long and difficult, and many elves would be slain by the cold and ice. The host of Fingolfin finally arrived in Arda at the same time the sun, one of the last vestiges of the two trees, arose. And so the first age began. When Fingon rescued Mithros, much of the animosity between the two factions were put aside, though Angrod still held a great dislike of the sons of Feanor, even though Feanor himself was dead. The children of Finarfin would play a great role in forging communication between the Noldor and Sindar. Elu Thingol would give the northern lands of Beleriand to the Noldor, with Angrod and Aegnor establishing the kingdom of Dorthonion. The children of Finarfin would spend much time in Doriath, as Thingol was the brother of their grandfather Olwe, lord of the Teleri in Valinor. Their warm welcomes, however, suddenly turned cold, as Thingol learned of the kinslaying, and he questioned his kin. Angrod could not restrain his temper, speaking out against the Feanorians. Quote, "Lord, I know not what lies you have heard, nor where, but we come not red-handed. Guiltless we came forth, save maybe a folly, to listen to the words of fell Feanor, and become as if besotted with wine, and as briefly. No evil did we do on our road, but suffered ourselves great wrong, and forgave it. For this we are named tale-bearers to you, and treasonable to the Noldor. Untruly, as you know, for we have our loyalty been silent before you, and thus earned your anger. But now these charges are no longer to be borne, and the truth you shall know. Wherefore should we that endured the grinding ice bear the name of kinslayers and traitors? End quote. Angrod revealed all to Thingol, and the Sindarin king banned the Quenya Tum. And though he told the children of Finarfin to leave, he would tell them that they were welcomed back. For 60 years Morgoth stayed silent behind Angband, until at last he sent forth a great host to drive into Dorthonion and divide the Noldor in two. But High King Fingolfin was aware of this plan, and thus Angrod and Aegnor met Morgoth's army with their own. Joined by Fingolfin and Maethros, Morgoth was defeated, and the siege of Angband began. Over the course of many years, there would be little conflict involving Angrod and Aegnor, allowing for Dorthonion to prosper for a time. After 300 years of the first stage passed, men first entered into Beleriand, and the House of Beor were given the lands of Ladros and Dorthonion, forming a close friendship and alliance. It was around this time that Aegnor would wander near Lake Ailuin, and there he saw Andreth, a woman of Beor's house, and the two fell in love. However, according to the customs of the Eldar, there could be no union between them during times of conflict, and so Aegnor would not wed Andreth, but he vowed never to take a wife out of love for her. With the shadow of Thangordrim looming ever in sight of Dorthonion, Angrod and Aegnor, in agreement with Fingolfin, attempted to bring war unto Morgoth to vanquish him once and for all. This would not come to pass, as many of the princes were content with the siege. And so it passed on a cold winter night in 455 that suddenly great rivers of fire came forth from Thangordrim. The siege was broken, and vast hordes of orcs came forth with Glaurung, father of the dragons, and the Balrogs. Angrod and Aegnor bore the brunt of the attack, and they sent word for aid to Fingolfin and their brother Finrod. The brothers amassed what forces they could with many men led by Bragollach, lord of Ladros, coming to their aid. The battle would be great and terrible, but cut off from aid by any force, Angrod and Aegnor would thus perish in the Dagor Bragollach. Dorthonion would fall, and the spirits of the brothers would go to the halls of Mandos. There, Aegnor would forever remain, refusing ever to take a form again, for he was now sundered from Andreth. And that so ends the legend of Angrod and Aegnor. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, feel free to like and subscribe for more content, and please let me know how I can better improve my videos. Thanks, and as the elves say, Namarie.